Hey everyone, it's me, Buster Green. I'm back from vacation. So here's a quick video because YouTube says I need to make something. A big news story last week was that Gynax finally filed for bankruptcy and is finally officially dead. That is a very complicated, very tragic story that I don't have time to unpack today because it just makes my brain hurt. But however, I did hear some recent rumblings about a new indie animation studio in Japan that has been heralded as the next Gynax. They started from nothing like the old Gynax did, and they made their first indie film about 5 years ago. Unfortunately, that indie film never really found an audience, but it has slowly gained popularity over the years, and now I just heard about it, so now I'm going to talk about it. And hopefully these people get big enough that they can make more anime. So yeah, the anime they made was called空中軍艦Atlantis, or in English, Aerial Battleship Atlantis. Now, I'm pretty sure no one in America has ever heard of this one, so if I had to sum this one up for you guys mega quickly, it's extremely derivative of old Studio Ghibli and old Gynax stuff. It's almost a mostly remake of Castle in the Sky, mixed with Evangelion, mixed with Nadia the Secret of Blue Water, a few spicy Studio Trigger style callbacks to Gurren Lagann, and some random visual knockoffs from Gunbuster and Makoto Shinkai. So yeah, to explain this series or this pilot, this is just a 19-minute pilot, and the pilot episode, by all counts, is the very end of the story. The entire beginning and the entire middle happen off-screen in your imagination, but it's such a cliche story that you can kind of fill in the gaps very easily. The cast consists of a Miyazaki-style evil villain, a very Miyazaki-style damsel in distress princess, and a generic young robot piloting hero. And I would say this is almost a remake of Castle in the Sky because it has that very particular rich guy versus a boy and a girl while abusing ancient technology dynamic that Castle in the Sky had. But yeah, so the general premise of this one is that there's this evil businessman, maybe he's a Nazi, he's definitely a bad guy, his name is Leska. He has discovered the lost sea of Atlantis, and it turns out that the lost sea of Atlantis wasn't lost because it sunk into the ocean, it was lost because it sunk into the sky because of magic floating coral. Leska finds it, and then he remodels the city of Atlantis into a floating battleship because he's an asshole, and apparently he wants to use Atlantis to take over the world. Also, apparently, Atlanteans had these weird golem-like creatures that both Leska and the main character have remodeled into giant robots. Anyway, then Leska kidnaps a girl named Luna, ransoming her off to her scientist mother because her mother knows the secret of Atlantis, and he wants to take her mother's research on Atlantis to figure out, I don't know, something, I guess how to shoot the laser or something. But that's not going to happen because he fucked with the wrong girl, because this girl has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend is Cyan, the fuck everything mecha pilot who's ready to fucking rip somebody's head off. Anyway, so yeah, that's the story in the nutshell. Cyan gets into the robot and he rips some people's heads off. Because this is an indie anime, the frame rate is a little bit lower to what you might be used to, and there are some definite visual errors where I say that a few cuts look a little bit too pixely in a way that they look like old school pixel art from like a Super NES or a PlayStation. It's kind of cool, but it's definitely a mistake because the whole movie doesn't look that way. If the whole movie did look that way, it might be kind of an interesting stylistic choice. But unfortunately, most of the movie has that like pretty nice 90s Studio Ghibli vibe. Cyan and the people of Japan finished building this robot. The robot is named the Gekiga Go. It's named after the animation group, which is the Gekiga Gang. And anyway, so yeah, the Atlantis robot flies up to Atlantis, fucks everything up, beats Leska in his own giant robot, and rescues Luna. And that's the story in like 2 seconds. I enjoyed this film. I think it's a bit of a weird project because it's an ending without a beginning and without a middle. And I think it's a little too derivative of Castle in the Sky for my taste. Like, come on, you guys need to do something a little bit more original. It's like really, really derivative of Castle in the Sky and Gunbuster. Like, they could have done a little bit more explaining how Luna got kidnapped or why she was so important other than the fact her mom was important. And considering her mom is so important, you never see her mom. I don't really get what Leska's goals are outside of general world domination, but it might have helped considering how easily he got defeated. If they had like showed like how formidable he was or like showed like what Atlantis could have done. Like all it really shows is that he turned it into a battleship and it shot missiles. Also, I can't remember the last time I saw the damsel in distress trope being used. It's been so long now that it actually seems refreshing. However, Luna, the main female, she's got no character development. She's got no personality. She's just a victim and then she's just a girlfriend. She's just like there to be a woman. The more I think about it, the characters in this piece aren't really developed that well, so maybe that's a slight against it. But hey, it's still a good conversation piece, I guess. I was extremely curious what the deal was with the creation of this, and if the people who create it have ever experienced any real success, because it's been 5 years since it came out. And yeah, the film was shown in a couple of movie theaters. I think it was even shown on the NHK. The film was created by a group of 30 unproven animators. They got most of their budget through crowdfunding. There was a Kickstarter campaign in Japan to fund this, but I have no information about how that turned out. I would assume it succeeded because the Kickstarter goal was to make a 15-minute pilot, and we got an 18 to 19-minute pilot. Oh wait, here's the information. Yeah, so they asked for 1 million yen, and they got 1,200,000 yen. So they exceeded their goal, and that actually tracks with what we got down to the dollar. But that is really shockingly small for an anime budget. Like, that translates in American dollars to about $10,000 or so, and even less now because the yen has gone down. So that's kind of crazy. Yeah, but as far as I can tell, on an individual level, no one has really been credited for working on this. No one's gotten famous from it. No one's gotten successful from it. I guess it's nice that as a work of art, it is slowly getting recognized for what it is. But yeah, otherwise, it doesn't seem like anyone really benefited this. It seems like the movie was directed and produced by a guy named Fuda Nagano, but I can't find anything about him, so I guess he didn't get famous. I will add that Gekiga Gang, the studio that made this film, has their own YouTube channel, and it is currently unmonetized, and that sucks. So they're just giving their anime away for free without ever getting anything back. So yeah, if you want to support these guys, here's where their channel's at. You should check out their anime. It is actually pretty nice. Overall, kind of a weird movie. I did enjoy it. The animation is beautiful. I feel like if it was a little bit longer and it had like a beginning, I would have liked it a lot more. I guess that's all I really have to say about this. But hey, if you guys like indie anime, I also create an indie anime, and it will be playing in theaters this year in New Jersey. Okay, cue the commercial. Hey everyone, Mito Bass here. Mutant Busters vs. Birdef, the first episode of the Mutant Busters animated series, is going to be doing a limited theatrical screening on Saturday night, July 6, 2024, in scenic Asbury Park, New Jersey, home of that creepy face on the wall. It will be screening at the Jersey Shore Film Fest. Tickets will be $20. This will be an updated version format for movie theaters with a brand spanking new theatrical sound mix and some other minor fixes. If you guys could, please check out my Patreon because I'm broke and we need money to finish episode 2. Patreon subscribers will get early looks at the unfinished episode 2, early access to the updated episode 1 with the theatrical sound mix, and high-level contributors will also have the ability to vote on episode elements for the upcoming episodes and potentially insert them or their ideas into the show. Alright, thanks everybody. Later.